Hello and welcome to another episode of the Remote Producer Show, where we are tapping into how you can become a pro producer and produce shows, live streams, podcasts for clients or as a freelancer. Let's jump into today's episode where we're going to be chatting about the systems, processes, and roles that you need to develop a fully functioning production team, and production machine is often how I envision it. So to anybody jumping in here and joining, jump into the chat right now. Click a little like on this while you're here. And if you're catching this on the replay, skip ahead just a second. But for now, we're gonna warm up the room and see who is in here. Jump in the chat. We're about to get started here in a sec. Welcome, Teresa, as always. Appreciate you jumping in. Anybody that's curious about what's in store, we've essentially been building the foundations for you to become a producer and pursue this as a genuine career. There's a massive opportunity right now to learn and master and understand not only the technology, but the processes attached to that technology. And it really can amplify your efforts as a marketer, as a business owner, or even just for your personal brand. Hey, Narcisse, welcome. I see Facebook crowd is jumping in here. If you're on LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, whatever you're on, jump in the comments real quick here. We're gonna cater this show to your specific needs. But we are about to get started. Good to see you, Jackie. Good to see you, Teresa Hamado. Interesting, like the name. Welcome to the party. Let's jump into this. Ladies and gentlemen, what we're gonna go over today is the most efficient and effective systems and processes that you can use to build and produce professional shows. And then in addition to that, we're gonna go into the specific roles that need to be filled for that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump directly into the presentation. Anything that you guys wanna ask or share or you're curious about, or even want to share your own insights, please do in the chat. So what's incoming today? Here's what you are about to discover: the high-level systems for you to produce professional shows. Then the specific, hyper-specific processes that we plug into those systems to accomplish that. And then finally, the specific roles of people and humans. That's where this all comes to life, is filling those systems and processes with people in specific roles. And this will go over all of the above. So thank you for joining. We are about to jump in. Welcome, Chris. Welcome, Jackie. Welcome, Andrew. Appreciate all y'all hopping in. Let's jump into the first section here. We're going to be talking about systems. And what I am going to consistently encourage, especially at the highest level, is how can you simplify your systems? You'll see processes will go super deep into detail. Systems, we want to do the opposite. We want it to be as simple as possible to achieve a specific goal. So the meta theory here is, how can you set a high-level system with a clear, specific goal? And then what we are going to do is optimize the system in its entirety toward one specific business goal. In most cases, it's the output or conversion of the media, but this is where it all starts. You need to have a clear understanding of what is the goal of this system. What is the metric for success? And in most cases, it's going to be an inputs output type of situation. So we'll get deeper into that, but I just want you to re-emphasize simplicity on the system side and then complexity in the processes. That's going to get you furthest in this context. So we've gone into the highest level meta theory. Now let's get into the specific details of these systems. How do we think of putting together a system? And there's 3 key pieces that I want you to be mindful of. And those 3 pieces are the input, what is going into the system. And in most cases, this is some type of creative energy or something actually measurable. And the second piece is the processes within it. Those need to be very detailed, very thorough. And then the last piece that you need to make sure you have a hold of is the output. So think of this very much like a machine. If you've been through this course, I consistently keep using the metaphor, the analogy of a machine. You put something into it, it does something, and there's some type of output or reaction. So that's what we want to consider here when you're building a production system, is what is that input? In most cases, it's creative energy. And then what processes are you sending that into? And then the output needs to be measurable, whether that's in episode deliveries, metrics, whatever pieces you want to attach to that. So quick hello to everybody jumping in here. I see Enrique, as well as LinkedIn user. Oh, I can't see who that is. I see you, LinkedIn user. I appreciate you. Appreciate you so much. Let me know who that is over there. Adam is rocking and rolling with us. Thank you guys so much for joining. As always, jump in the chat if you have any questions or insights or anything to share. This is a journey with all of you guys to become producers, to become world builders in a way. And that's what this is about. So we went into category 1, systems. Simplify your systems. Now, let's move into number 2. What goes into these systems? So think of the hierarchy here. Systems are highest level. Processes are within those systems. So think of that distinction throughout here. And the macro level goal here is essentially to establish processes so clear that you could have interns running everything while you're on vacation. That's the ultimate goal here. An alternative phrase that's a bit more morbid, that's encouraged in the entrepreneurial business building era is you should be able to walk out the door and get hit by a bus and your business should still be able to operate. So same premise, but a slightly less morbid approach, and you don't have to die in this example. So that's the ultimate goal when you're thinking about processes, is how can I get everything out of my head or out of this sort of autopilot, what you're always used to doing yourself, and clarify it into high detail processes anybody can learn and pick up. And then ultimately, as you build those processes, the goal is to optimize them forever. Literally forever. This technology is going to be changing. Your audience is going to be changing. Your team might be changing. So always be looking at optimization points internally or externally for all of these processes. So that's the high level strategy of how you should think about these processes that plug into your higher level system. So that's the meta. Let's get into the micro level details of these processes. And the first priority, this is a must have. These should be hyper detailed instructions. Hyper detailed instructions, not just a quick little bullet point list of like the 3 things that need to be done each show. Literally every single piece of that process, everything you're thinking or doing and clicking, right click here, left click here, all of that stuff should be accommodated in a very detailed way. That's how these systems work. That's how they can actually scale. Otherwise, you are just simply creating a different type of headache for you down the road. So prioritize hyper detailed instructions. No matter how detailed you think it is, you can probably go one more level deeper. So I heavily encourage you to do that throughout. So number 2 here, the next piece that this operates with, those instructions should feed into some type of task flow management. So these are occasionally called like task boards, stuff like Asana, Monday, ClickUp. There's so many of these that you can actually use, but you need to track where the heck are we in this process, especially for recurring shows. This task flow management piece is a godsend for any type of recurring frequency shows. So that's definitely one of those things that you have to keep in mind. How is this all going to be managed, moderated, and monitored so that you as a producer can look at the episodes or look at a show and see exactly where something is at any point in time. So super, super valuable piece there is to attach it to some type of task flow management. And then finally, a really big piece that will help simplify this equation is understanding the media management. How do we actually manage and share and process and upload and download and hand off all of these files? This is where modern media production can get really messy with so many hands-offs and edits and versions. You have to be mindful of what exactly is going where. And in most cases, the most effective system is some type of cloud-based storage. So I'm sure there's some type of security concern or something I'm missing that somebody can call me out on for using the cloud entirely. But cloud-based media will give you access from anywhere. So you don't need to be on specific devices. If you're able to tap into a local network, like if you're producing for a company or a large enterprise and they have local networks that you can use for media management and storage, great, go for it. But most of the people here are either going to be doing this freelance or solo, or just building their own business and infrastructure for this. So be smart about how your media is going to be managed internally for you, your team, the producer, post-production, editors, all those people, and then also on the client side. One of the most effective pieces of my production package is a micro content folder that clients can literally just jump straight into the folder, and they have clips ready to go and ready to post that they can download directly. If that was a super complex or difficult process, or I emailed them like once every week or every couple days with a new video, it would be super inconvenient and inefficient. So think of how you can serve your clients best. What do they need? What do they want? And what is the best way you can build these processes and systems to accommodate that? And hello to everybody jumping in here. I see new folks jumping in here. Please do hit that little like button. Any reaction, jump in the comments. Anything to just let us know you're here is all we need. Just a quick little something. Quick little something. But thank you to everybody jumping in on LinkedIn. I'm getting more concise with these, I think. So hopefully we'll see how long this show goes, but let's keep it rolling. We just chatted about the second pillar here, which is building out your processes that we were plugging into higher level systems. And we chatted about hyper detailed instruction, non-negotiable, task flow management, some type of media or software to know what is going on. And then last piece is some type of media management. In most cases, some type of cloud storage or something like that that's neatly organized and structured for your internal team as well as your clients. Boom. Processes done. Let's keep it rolling now with how this all comes to life. And that is with people, with humans, with creative energy. That's where all of this comes together. So the systems are great to make sure we're hitting business goals. The processes are great to make sure that we're doing that efficiently. The roles here are really the glue that brings everything together. So the goal here on a meta level is build a team with roles strategically matched to your processes. So this gives you a really good setup of the hierarchy. We fill the roles to specific processes that fit within the highest level system. That's what makes this all come together. And of course, you can force certain things that aren't ideal, but if you have all of these in alignment and you have people's skill set and personality preferences, landing them in roles that they love, they enjoy, and they're good at, everything that you do will be amplified. Everything in the process, everything in the system. It's just a whole nother level when people are in a role they actually like and enjoy. So appreciate everybody that's been supporting me on my team, Jackie, Teresa, and so many others that have been supporting these roles that we're mentioning here. So think of how you can set up that alignment internally. And in most cases, getting more into the details here, these are the three categories of roles that you'll encounter with production. So the biggest one that a lot of people underestimate is the general administration and just management of everything. The creation and editing and all of that is just a tiny little piece of the puzzle. So the administration, all of the communication, so this could be bookings, promo, creating event pages, that type of stuff, especially if it's ongoing, you need to have that foundation if you want your show to succeed. Whether it's a live stream, a podcast, or anything, you need an individual that actually works with that process to keep it moving forward. So I see a few questions coming in here. We are almost done. Alex, D-Law, and Hamado's still rocking and rolling with us. Majida. So we're almost done with the primary presentation, and then I'll jump into any questions you guys have. Share your insights, conversations. This is a community thing. We're all in this journey together for sure. So let's keep it rolling here. We're talking about the roles that need to be filled. We were just chatting about admin and management. Make sure that you have people aligned, organized people that can always keep things on track and moving forward. Then the production of the show itself. What's literally happening right now is the production of the show. And in my case, I am in like a very solo mode as far as like running the show and doing all this fun, fancy stuff. But in a bigger context, there are other roles that you can develop for the production. So one of which, my favorite, is the community concierge, having somebody in the chat like Jackie and Teresa that can help welcome people, share links if we need to. All of that type of stuff is really helpful for increasing the engagement and the success of the show. So that one's a little more sneaky. The most obvious one is the show runner. You need somebody literally running the show, clicking all this fun stuff and changing scenes and whatnot. That needs to be your anchor. They need to be the person that understands everything that's supposed to happen during the show. And in most cases, that can be a behind the scenes type of role. that's usually ideal. So I'm doing the double dip here, doing the on-camera thing and running the show at the same time. But for professional productions, like top tier client paid productions, you're going to want that split. You're going to want the on-air talent focused in the zone. They know what they need to do and they're ready to go. And then the showrunner behind the scenes taking care of all the technical stuff. That alone is just going to send your production focus into a whole nother level. So that's the production tips. Let's jump into the last piece here, which is really essential for getting maximum mileage out of your productions. And that is post-production. What happens after the show? What happens after it's recorded and you need to actually share it with the world? This is where post-production can save your booty in so many ways with a solid system. So post-production is essentially either taking the final episode and polishing it to be published. So if you were finishing a podcast, you need some type of post-production mixing and mastering before you can actually send that to be published. So think of how you can build that into your processes and systems in an effective way. So that's just publishing the full long form episode. And then the other piece of this is repurposing and micro content. This post-production role here that we're mentioning is vital for getting maximum mileage out of your content. The show itself, if you're doing your job right, it'll do great. It will succeed. You'll have people there. But if you're doing your job really well, the micro content from those episodes is going to be as valuable or more valuable than the show itself. So keep that in mind and do not skimp on post-production. It's definitely one of those, if you can only invest in a few things, post-production will give you a ton of extra mileage. So in that context, you're looking for audio engineers, audio editors, and video editors. I am super, super grateful that I've been training and building out this role in a hybrid fashion. So I actually have a post-production manager that manages video and audio, and he is a godsend. I appreciate him so much. And that's what we really want to focus on, is efficient roles that we can build for these. So I see these questions coming in. I will jump right into them. We're going to recap for those that were just joining us a little bit late. We're just getting to the end of this little curriculum here that we're throwing down. And what we just chatted about today was systems, processes, and roles. And the way that these operate as far as hierarchy is you want to develop simple systems at the high level, use complex processes that plug into that system, and then most efficiently matching specific roles and specific people to each of those processes. And if you can have those pieces working in unison, you'll notice everything you do goes smoother, less headaches, less hurdles, and the results are better. I promise you this is so much better than just winging it and trying to make things work. So think of how you can connect those pieces together in an effective and efficient way. So I'm going to start jumping into all the questions. If Jackie or Teresa, if you guys could reshare any good questions that were coming through, I'm going to go ahead and hop into those right now. I see Tegan had a great question. Let me find it. All right, folks, we are officially in the Q&A. So thank you for joining the primary piece of that episode. Now let's get to more of these questions. And we'll jump into anything you want to ask from your end that you want to ask me, or the opposite. If you guys here in the chat and in the comments have insights to share, we want to hear your insights as well. So many other producers and streamers and podcasters here in this community and on this stream. So we actually want to hear your insights as well, in any context. So feel free to jump in here. I see a lot of people jumping in the chat. We've got a party over on YouTube. Please do like and jump in the comments here if you are hanging on YouTube. We can't fully know you're hanging with us until you say something. So that is a solid option. If you haven't jumped in quite yet, there's a lot of amazing people here to jump into. So let's go ahead and jump into a few questions. How do you vet people for these roles? So we were just chatting about the actual roles that need to be filled for live stream production. And this is what I've done. Obviously, if you're at a fully scaled company, you might have more resources and more time or energy to actually just do a proper hiring and interview process. But for me, I actually had a very unique approach in most of the roles and jobs that we're filling for these productions are people coming from our community. So there's this pre-filtered effect of people that I know I'm already familiar with. They're familiar with streaming and productions in the community, and they already understand the external version of that. They understood what it's like to view a stream. And that was the key piece that I needed, was people that understood that front end of the show. It's very easy to get like technical checkbox type of things, but I needed people that had the right personality or skill set fit to make these shows a better experience. So for me, it was the kind of a community filtering vetting. It wasn't quite like an interview process, but what you could do, which is very similar to what I do, is test projects internally for yourself first. So test an internal show with new role or new individuals in that role and see how it goes. If they do great, start doing more of that and building out the systems around what they're good at. And in that context, at least it's like a lower risk scenario where you're not just jumping straight into a paid client production and paid show, and they're not a good fit. So this gives you like a nice little foundation tier of testing the waters internally, optimizing, seeing it's good, and then bring it to client-focused material. So great question. There are way too many comments in here. I'm trying to sneak in here to catch all of them. Hamado has another one here. Are there new stuff coming to Restream? And the answer is yes, there is always new stuff coming out with Restream. They're very reactive to what the audience is asking for and what the market is really needing. So anytime you guys do have a request or feedback or suggestion for Restream, do utilize that. They have an entire engineering department and everything that's always listening and pursuing those features and stuff. So I don't have any intel about what's coming out next, but I know right now the focus is Restream pairs is a really powerful feature where you can not only pair to your own channel, you can now pair to partners or a guest. If you had a high-level guest, you could pair the stream to their channel, and it now duplicates streams on both individuals. So there's exponential returns in using Restream pairs, but as of right now, just stay tuned, and they are consistently evolving. All right, here we go. Now we're getting some questions rolling. All y'all over on YouTube, feel free to jump in the comments if you'd like. And we're just in an open Q&A after we already went through the curriculum, so let's keep it going. LinkedIn user, another one. if there was one function or resource that needs to be developed to help elevate the process development side of streaming, what would you want to see created? Okay, I need to absorb this for a moment. If there was one function or resource that needs to be developed to elevate the process. Okay, so if it was a tool, for me, it would be integrating media management with the task flow management. Right now in my world, those are pretty much completely isolated, other than the media management has file links that we can share in the task flow. But that's an opportunity that I see sort of on a macro level. If there was a system or tool or software that merged the media management and post-production with the booking and post-production, all the admin stuff before the show, that would be a pretty big win for my world. But yeah, I'd be curious what you guys think of that. What would be your response to this question? What is something that you would want to know or see in this process development category? I'd be very curious. I'm going to run through this show after it's over, and I'll check all of your guys' responses and questions. But we are past the 30-minute mark, but we've got a few questions coming in. Are you mostly doing remote production or working with local clients? I am 100% working in remote production, Alex. So this is really the epitome of this show. I think we've titled it here, Becoming a Remote Producer, very aptly named. That's quite literally what I've done in the last 18 months or so, going from virtually nothing to pursuing this fully as a career, and started as a side hustle, and then it built and built, and now we've got a fully fledged production studio coming to life over here on this end. So all of this is doable entirely remote. And we're going to be addressing week after week the hurdles and the setups that you need to make it succeed, but it is absolutely possible. So yeah, don't sleep on remote production. I think there is so much capability here, and we're going to see a lot more of it. Here we go. Okay, not a specific question, but I'm curious about streaming events which are happening in interactive platforms. Hard to monitor the live stream chat on LinkedIn. Okay, so I don't quite see the full question. Oh, because there's more, and I can't see the rest of it. Okay. In general, the interactive events serve a slightly different purpose than streams. So that's what I've started to categorize things as. Is streams are much more like a concert venue. Like if you've ever been to a single stage concert venue, it's all the focus is there. You can still hang out and interact and mingle and whatnot, but the focus is a single show. What these event platforms are really trying to fill, and what I see them most useful as, is more of like a trade show type of vibe. Like if you need to go to multiple booths or multiple stages, or breakout rooms and exercises, like little stuff like that you need, that's more splintered. It's not a singular focus. That's where virtual event platforms and more interactive stuff like that may be more valuable. But in my case, a lot of the stuff I do is very single stage, focus is right here. But have definitely been testing the waters of those interactive platforms to see exactly what we can do with that. So brilliant question. I'm going to sneak right through these once more. Is it possible to share a window with audio? Yes, it is. In Restream, when you click the share screen button, it will add a source. You will have options to select what that source is, Norman, whether it's a window or a screen or whatnot. And what you're going to want to choose is the direct application. Don't choose the monitor, the actual monitor screen. Choose the application that is playing audio. And there's going to be one little check mark that you press that says share audio, and that will be your way to screen share and have the audio attached to it. So yes, it is possible, and you should be able to do that with any application or any window. So holy cow, we are cracking open a lot of questions. Okay, front-end developer trying to break into the cannabis industry. On the request of my career coaches, I was told to sell myself. This is a little outside of my expertise, other than I am fairly familiar with the cannabis industry. Other than that, I may not be the best coach or advice here, but for me personally, I'm not an outbound, like cold call, cold email type of person. So for me, having a portfolio of productions or referrals that basically give people a better idea of what I'm capable of, what I can do, that's what's been super effective for my world. Hopefully that helps your world. But a little outside of my expertise, if I'm being honest here. So, all right, I'm sneaking through these last few questions here, and then I'm hopping off. Uno mas, we need a question billboard. Yes, I would agree with that. Maybe that would be another feature we could suggest for Restream here. But wouldn't it be nice as a remote producer or showrunner to save or doc comments and pull them up? Yes, and yes. I very much need this, like, literally right now. So that would be brilliant. Anybody out there, that would be amazing. One more question. Cloudy with Games is asking, are there any plans to allow us to use our own music? So the tricky dilemma here is copyrights. Cloudy, there's a whole bunch of messy legal stuff under the hood when it comes to playing music live on a live stream or even on a podcast as well. So as of right now, I'm assuming you're asking this to like the Restream platform. The Restream platform only loads copyright-free like autoplay music. It's not like choose the song type of thing, but you do have options that can play music in the background. Like I have here on deck some Spotify lists, playlists and tracks that we can throw on here maybe for some backing music. We're going to be ending the show anyways. I'll keep it on. But the way I'm doing this is actually just through audio routing. So I'm able to route any source of audio and merge them all into this single microphone that's coming into Restream. So that's a way that I'm able to share my own music. An alternative would be what we were just mentioning with the screen share. You can pull up a screen share that's playing the audio and then maximize your own screen. So like if this presentation doesn't have any audio, but if it did, you could screen share that window. And then if you didn't want it visible, you maximize yourself, and then boom, you have music playing in the background and you have your full production, clean production without the screen of the music like actually playing. So yeah, that was a nice little poetic ending because I use music for my intros and outros of all these shows, and I am out of time. But if you have any questions, please join our community. We do have a thriving community of creators and podcasters and streamers that we would love for you to join, and we're connecting, collaborating, sharing advice and questions and everything all the time. So we'd love for you to join that. And if any piece of this has been interesting to you, I encourage you to test the waters of Restream. give it a shot. Give it one shot. I promise you that you will enjoy what you discover, because the tool is super simple to use, and the context that you can apply it to is virtually limitless, from podcasts to live streams to virtual events to games and trivia and entertainment, charity concerts, so much fun stuff that I'm literally doing with Restream. So jump in that link here in the description if you have any interest in producing at all. Please test the waters. But that's about it. I'm gonna say goodbye to everybody. Lots of LinkedIn users, thank you so much. Website launch course, thank you for jumping in over on YouTube. Alex Miner, thank you. Jackie, thank you. Majida, thank you. Everybody that's joined us today, I appreciate you. I would love to support your journey, so connect and we can start the journey to become super producers together. Thank you guys so much for joining another episode. We'll catch you next week on the Remote Producer Show.